emailed them, so I'm just following up, so we can see those.
Okay. You'll have to search for them, because I don't.
Yes, it would be the closed session amended. Travis said he had, emailed them back over for us to.
Oh. Yeah, anyway, I'm standing. I bequeath upon you the knowledge of justice.
I don't need to fall apart. Call the meeting to order. We do the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Alderman Ashley Albright.
Here.
Alderman Gary Shannon.
Here.
Alderman Robert Thomas.
Here.
Alderman Amber Winkler.
Yes.
Ladies is 7.
I'm going to make the motion to approve the agenda for May 9th.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Motion carries. Okay. We don't have all of the minutes, and I think there's a typo on the current ones. So we'll have those corrected and ready for the meeting on Tuesday. So we don't have that motion unless somebody wants to make a motion. So one of the first things that I would like to go over is the general budget. Yes. Anybody out in the crowd wants to say anything about anything? Yes.
Can I get one?
Yes. There's extras. I don't know how many more do you think we need? If we need some more, just let us know. Donna, do you have the 0104 sheet?
The revenue.
Yeah, the 0104 revenue, yes. So what we're looking at right now is the 0110 general fund, and this is just general, it's not any of the other departments at this time. And the we just need the first page and a half off of this one, so. And then the income off of the 0104, which is the general. Okay, so the 10 account is the general administration. 11 is PD, 12 is fire department, et cetera, so forth. Right now, we're gonna be looking at just the administration part. So this would be your wages for your city clerk, for any part-time help that you have in the administrative office, your council wages, council's annual fees, any payroll taxes and loggers associated with those specific payrolls. Health insurance for that particular person or persons, and your workman's comp looks like hasn't been entered yet for some reason. I don't know why. That bill is usually due January, like March, April, and then again in June. It's quartered throughout the year. There's not been any office supplies taken. I don't know why, miscellaneous expense. But if you look at the current budget, that's the line you want to actually see. Those are the estimated costs for the year if you had a full-time employee for the whole year. So the prior 2 years are on there. A lot of times when you're estimating budgets, because a budget is just an estimation, you look at your prior 2 years and debate your current year to enter that number. So that is how that usually works. So as you look down through that line under current budget, is there anything that you believe would not be appropriate or would you have questions about?
I'd like to take my information home. Is this off the budget that we had made at the end of the year?
It is.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to,
Well, I just want you to glance
Be
at
able
it,
to,
see
yeah,
if there's
take it
anything
home.
that's questionable that you want to verify what it is.
yeah,
Um,
I'd like to just be able to take it home and then, touch back on this on Tuesday's meeting.
Now, you have to remember on your insurance fees here on the second page, those are for the building insurance and inland marine and things like that. So that's kind of a mishmash of all insurance except health insurance. That's a whole separate line item that you'll see on page one.
Does this have the increase for the, we're going to get the chemical and I can't remember what else it was for the, insurance, because like the gas from the gas station got in the sewer pipes. That
The
guy,
pollution.
Mark or Matt or whoever was coming here and talked to us that on the increase, do we know?
I have no clue what you're talking about.
So after we had, somebody come in and with our insurance company, Amber, do you remember the name of them? Who we have insurance with?
Oh, yeah, Mike.
And we upped our policy to cover pollution because we did have a gas leak in town previously, and we did up our policy, and it was about $3,000.
For chemical spills?
Yeah, just
or
that way it
anything?
covers us that if something, an emergency like that would happen again, we're covered.
If that was in your budget notes from them, it would have to have been calculated until
I
I,
mean, first year,
okay,
it was after the budget.
okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll have to look at that and then budget that, so that would be spread between,
Throughout the,
yeah, I want to say throughout several departments, so that'll be not so hit so hard in one place.
Yeah.
It'll be like street,
It was about $3,000 if I remember right, which I have my minutes from, or my papers from the last budget we did, so I can look back at that and
so
double check.
Mike, insurance an increase of $3,000 estimated, and it'll be divided.
estimated.
Yeah.
That's for
Okay.
chemical spills,
Right, well,
anything that gets out of those.
They had it listed as pollution.
okay, so we'll probably have, something in January, probably from him, where we can look at it and say, Yeah, and then we'll look over the budget for that one. Okay, so otherwise, then there's no real questions on anything that's in 0110. This is just office administration.
Today, no, but like I
Right.
said, I'd like to be
Right.
able to have more time to
Sure.
look it over and review and then follow back
I
up on
just want to
Tuesday.
kind of touch base, make sure that if the line item is questionable, that we get your answer before you leave. Okay, so then we have 11, which is the next department, and that's the police department. So 0111 is police. And then it looks like technology from last year is quite.
Well, it shows a car payment in there, but then it shows that nothing's been paid for.
Right, though a lot of the stuff has not been entered for 2023 yet, or 2024 yet. So I'm not sure.
The technology changed as well, if you remember, the technology cost went way down. We changed that at the beginning of the year, actually, yeah.
That's why I wanted to look back at our
Yeah.
original ones that we did to just compare.
And I think I still have the breakdown over there, what that looks like as well, so.
We might lose some of those things.
Okay.
So then the next, if you guys are ready. And these are your worksheets, you can scribble all over. The next department would be fire department, it's 0112. So we don't have wages out of this because we are totally volunteer, but we do have to pay for workman's comp. Fire department has their sales tax, which takes care of most of their expenses. Every now and then we might have to donate to the fire department from the general fund, but most of them they carry themselves.
We've got the, tax.
The public safety tax, they get 30% of it, yes. If you wanna jot that on there, they do get 30% of the public safety tax. And then the remaining 70% goes to the police department as revenue, and when we get to 10104, it'll be in those line items. Mr. Keller or Mr. Piper, do you guys have anything that might be, I know that those pump things on the fire department are very expensive to have tested. Are those all included in this budget? And you can always take them home, review them, that's what we're doing, is we're reviewing.
I believe it is.
Okay. Yes, please review that and make sure that we kept all of your expenses in here. Oh, check on your insurance as well, if you would, make sure that the vehicle insurance is fairly accurate, because if you're buying a fire truck this year, you might call Mike Keith and see an estimate on what it would take to insure that for 3 months, 4 months out of the year, whatever, so we can, plan accordingly. That would be great. 13 department is the community building. So there is nothing, well, there's 5,000 budgeted in here for the repairs on the community building. We have a 19,849, and then from last year, where we probably, I'm assuming that's the roofing supplies.
Tuck points, we're either gonna have to rent something to get us there.
So we need to probably adjust that budget and then we're gonna have to figure out where to pay it. Because the community building doesn't have any income from any revenue source.
But some people build it. Not really.
Right, but we need to figure out where it's gonna be paid from, because it's gotta be accounted for. So it just goes in the budget notes, it says there, the budget is many dollars on this line item to go for the costs. So that's what we do. When we get to that 0104, that's when we start looking at that. So we have, building repairs that need to be reviewed and estimated. You think you could maybe estimate something,
Sure,
you know?
$1 billion.
Yeah, yes, something so that we can make this budget more accurate, because $5,000 is not,
General stuff.
yeah,
I mean, it needs all windows, it needs touch points, I mean. it
right,
is-
well, we'll have to make it within some sort of reason.
Yeah, I know.
So, even if it's just a round number, just like 20,000, you know, or something to throw in. But
Well, if you're doing it, then we're gonna need to do something.
so we'll have to do it somehow.
It didn't get in that condition overnight, so. not
No,
gonna be
it's
fixed.
100 years old. It's got 100-year-old problems. So the next one is Department 14. Mark on that.
Yeah.
That would be great. This is the cemetery account. So 14, the cemetery. That is also limited to how many people purchase lots and plots and pay their assessment fees. So most of the time, the general has to pick up any expenses out of it. When we talk about your wages, that is a portion of what parks and streets and all of them donate to that line item. And that usually takes a transfer of funds motion in order to put money back into this line item for that maintenance. And they do it like twice a year. Once toward the middle of the year and then at the end of the year, they'll do that budget adjustment and that goes from there. So is there anything else on the cemetery that we should be concerned about? Are we needing any new equipment or something's been going in the shop because it collapses or anything like that? Let us know when,
Day-to-day stuff, but
right.
nothing major.
So the next is 0115, which is the park account. And like the others, the only income you get off the park is if you rent the park $10 a month. And that covers
It's
maybe.
a lot. I can put $90 in it.
Yes, you do.
I was gonna say, there should be money.
We're talking about expenses. These are expenses, not income. Okay, so you're good. This is all money out. So no money in. Here's an extra one. I had two, I'm sorry. So the current budget is for wages for the park. Now,
It's split up with the
it
cemetery
is.
and
Park, cemetery, the mowing of the ditches, the mowing of whatever gets split out into as many things that we can to keep these at a limited level. So, yeah, all of that is, and then the part-times are weed eaters and, mowers and, yes, Mr. Shannon.
I'm just looking at this as far as the budgets. So you have your loggers, you have your maintenance, so on and so forth, vehicle maintenance, grounds maintenance, so on and so forth. Should some of those actually have amounts in them? Because I know like the Gator or whatever is used in 3 different areas, at least,
Yes.
maybe 4. Should that be broke out into the different departments? I'm just asking.
Yes.
Insurance, maintenance, gas costs, so on and so forth.
Anything that is not electronically generated is not in here.
Okay.
From the,
Well, because I'm looking at.
well, no, I believe that there are several things that they've been, well, just to be frank, they've not been paid.
Well, 'cause, I mean, you know,
The
you
checks
look
have not
back,
been written.
you look back 2 years
Where,
and there's zeros.
oh, yeah,
I'm gonna take a wild guess
oh,
that
like
they're
your loggers, part-time does not get logged.
correct. Oh, so this is, but isn't this dealing with full and part-time
The other
employees?
departments will eat the loggers on what's for us to do.
I know typically if Mark's working parks and then cemetery and so forth, his time is split between, right?
Yeah, I thought the program was set up to automatically generate that, but we'll have to have G-Works work with Donna to make sure that it's taking out as it should. Somebody may have turned it off in the system.
Right, so now at the moment, it's probably all being pumped into one department as opposed to split between time. 'Cause I noticed on paycheck or pay time sheet before, you have like, well, I'll use silent, 50-50 water and sewer, 50-50 split or 70-30 whatever. So
Right.
to me,
It
it's
should.
confusing if it's.
The percentages should show on these,
Okay.
but if I say it needs to be reviewed, I'm sure now that we have a city clerk that
We have a
understands,
profession.
yeah, that understands how these things work, that she will review that with G-Works when she goes through, because I believe she's making probably an appointment with them to go through all of these little line items and make sure that everything's set up correctly.
This is wonderful.
Pardon?
I like it. It's wonderful that, I used to have to deal with budgets and they were
Yes.
very, very.
Okay, so that is all of the expense reports that you would have for 01, which is the general fund only. Then when you look at your 01, 04, and that's all part of needed to go, so it's halfway down the second page. So all of these is where the city gets their money from. If everything is entered, it will be in the expended year to date, which is just how much has come in through the current year. Otherwise, you can go off of your budget, which is, I am not sure what happened 2 years ago in those expense lines or income lines, because it's pretty standard that the city receive approximately $25,000 to $26,000 a year off of real estate taxes. That's pretty standard. Personal property tax always varies a little bit, but it's an average of 5,000 here, right here on this first page. Here. So if you look at the current budget, yes, where it says 26,000, that's how much income we're talking about. Anything that's 0104.
No, I don't have one of those.
It's the thick packet.
Okay,
Okay,
long day.
I know.
That's why I want to take it home and review.
That's okay. So the real estate tax is the 26,000 average. Property tax is 5,000 average. The sales tax for the first one is your general sales tax. That's like when you buy something at the dollar store, you pay your tax. That's what that is. Fire department tax, I'm not sure why that's in there, because that tax went away when they put the public safety tax in. There were some people that hadn't paid their taxes and it's trickled in. But as far as I'm concerned, that should be zero. Unless we actually get something that says you got $2.10 in fire department tax. Because it does come in on a separate item in the budget. So my opinion is that one would need to be zeroed out. Your surtax, fit, and railroad tax, those are a couple of smaller checks. They're added together there. The county does send those. And they've been pretty stable the last few years. I'm not sure. Probably the railroad tax has come in. That's why it's $8,000. I'm going to assume that that is the railroad tax. But you will get a surtax and what they call the fit tax. It's something else. And it'll probably total between the three of them around that $13,000. Okay. The public safety sales tax, the PD, you see that one on there. That is what is generated for the police department. So 61.5 is an estimate based on the prior year's sales tax. It's sales tax. So if we lose a business, we may have to adjust that down even a little bit more, because all the sales tax that was going into the family dollar is where these taxes are generated from. Public safety sales tax.
Food isn't taxed as much as.
Right, well, people that are on food stamps and WIC and all that, and that is not taxed. So this is just on taxable items, like, your 7 or 8 cents that you pay on your dollar, you go in and buy something in the store. And if you're paying cash, check, or whatever, you don't have the assistance, you're paying tax on that. So that's, yes, you're correct, that's what that is. So the fire department has an estimated 26.5 to work with. I know that those 2 lines that says expended to date are not accurate, but when you've been without a person to enter that stuff, that's what kind of happens. Your franchise fees, those are from 3 different companies. You have One Communications, you have Liberty Utilities. There's another one. Oh, ABB Missouri on the cable. If you have ABB Missouri, we get a franchise fee for having American broadband. That's where that dollar comes from. Business licenses are always fairly stable. They don't really go up or down, but any company, any entity that does business inside of the city limits of Humansville should have a business license. Yes. Inspection fees, we don't have an inspector, so that doesn't qualify. We do not have dog tags. Miscellaneous income, I don't know what that's classified as. I know when you see the last year's expense, so when you make a clerical error and you have to reverse a transaction, okay, it just doesn't zero it. It puts it in, it takes it out. It puts it in, it takes it out. So it looks like you've got $800,000 in that line and you don't. Because if there's an extra zero on something and you have to reverse that, because it won't let you void it, you have to reverse it. So then you have that amount of money on your income line and you have that amount of money on your expense line to match it as a reverse. So those balance to zero, but it was a moot transaction because it was incorrect.
So was a reversal,
I'm sorry,
The
I
report-
did not acknowledge you.
okay, may I speak? May I ask a question regarding a reversal report that we done?
You can wait till we're finished.
Just
Point of order.
clarification for the minutes.
Uh-huh.
These are not expenses.
No, this is income,
So when it says expended year to date, it's really.
income to
Receipt.
date, yes. So just keep in mind that some of these, that's why you make budget notes, is that there could be a boo-boo, or put in too many zeros, or send it to the wrong, or made a check out to the wrong vendor and had to void the check. It's gonna do both sides of that line, so it balances to zero.
Okay. Sarah, can I ask what you
No,
were,
no,
I as a board
No.
member can't ask it?
no, not till we're done, if you don't mind, then you can.
Okay, then we need
So
to make
I
it
do
fair
not
for
know-
everybody in the building.
I don't know what the miscellaneous income is for or why it was on here, because you guys might have it in the budget notes, but I have not. Refunds and rebates, those are odd items out. Sometimes you get an insurance refund or rebate if you have healthy employees and you don't overuse. And your interest, your court fine money, that also goes into the police department for revenue to them. It doesn't go anywhere else. So court fines is specific to police. The police department special fund, at one time, it was like reserved for car payments and things like that.
It's an open meeting. I'm messaging our attorney about a question. I do have the right to do that.
That is a check that MoDOT sends to us once a year for training and ammunition, I believe. Yes,
It might be in that report from the courts there. It's divided up that way. Yeah.
well, no, it's a different line item.
Oh,
It's
okay.
strictly from MoDOT.
Gotcha. Okay.
They send a
Based on the grant
$500
stuff.
check to like every community in the state.
Okay.
And it's specifically tagged.
Okay.
So that's what that 500 is for. That is training and ammo for the training. Grant revenue, if you don't have a grant, you don't have revenue. The ARPA revenue, I am not exactly sure what that is. I mean, I know what the ARPA is, but I don't know why it's not. We didn't receive any ARPA money last year. That's why that is zero. And the 108,904 is what we received in 2022. Cemetery income, that is when people buy plots and they have the assessments. And then that goes straight to the cemetery. That is the only income you have for cemetery. You do have that little tiny CD that it gets interest, but it rolls over into the CD, as far as I know. Cemetery donations are different than the plots, so when people want to donate, then they can do that. Park income is if somebody wants to donate to the park. Community building donations are all in that one line item as well. The transfers in line, that's when at the 6-month mark or at the end of the year mark, you can, if you borrow money from the other departments to help you pay for something, it comes in on that line. So
So everything from there and above is all
Is
the income.
just income into general only. That doesn't count any other department like water or water, sewer, street. This is just general. I didn't figure you'd want to go through all that other stuff. It gets quite the headache after some of it.
See the
Say we have something, piece of equipment that gets split up between 4 different, maybe it's split between parks and cemetery and street and sewer. So then all of that, those parts come into this line item, correct? Is that what, no?
Mm-mm. Let's see, that's a good way to explain it. So you are over budget, you don't have any money in park. So you take money from your decommissioned replacement or from water account or sewer account or street account, because you can pay for some things in the cemetery from the street account because there are roads in the cemetery. Then you would take it from there and bring it into this line, the transfer line. And then from the transfer line, it would go into whatever line item it goes to. You have to have 4 transactions to do a transfer. You have to get it where it was from, put it in the transfer out line, it's got to go to the transfer in line, and then it's got to go to the income line where you're generating. And the reverse is in effect if you're moving it the other direction. So one transfer takes 4 transactions. That's why we don't do them very often. Okay, so now do we have any questions?
Why would a reversible report not be run if $811,000 was a mistake?
Because it's on a budget and a reverse report is a total separate report.
But the report would show what was reversed, so you could explain away this amount of money.
Good, but I haven't looked at it until today, so.
So then how would you know it wasn't a mistake?
Well, I'm gonna assume we didn't get that much money into that particular line. I assume. Because we don't have that much in the bank accounts.
You don't have $811,000 in the bank account?
On that one line item, I'm seriously doubting it. Because when you get down to.
The last year, that's the last year.
Yeah, that was a last year
Income.
thing, but to answer your question. These documents do not show all of those ins and outs and ins and outs. That is a specific report. This is a general report, and it's not really necessary right now to go into that. I don't know what our bank balance is, because I've not done any of the bank rec. That is the city clerk's job, and when she gets to it, then we will know.
So when the stuff was turned over to Highway Patrol, what was the bank balance on that, or do you have a packet that's available to the public on that?
We do have a packet that's available to the public, but I
And
don't
so-
have it sitting here in front of me. So, next item. Has anybody got any questions on the budget?
I have a question.
Do you have any questions for the budget?
I have a question. You were saying something
Oh.
about,
No,
he was saying something about asking, something about income from water, but you were cut off a second ago. What were you asking? Gotcha. Okay, that's what I was wanting clarity on.
so now let's move forward. So if there's no specific questions about the budget, take home and review. Bring all your questions to the meeting on Tuesday. Good. Now we do have, the ARPA update is on the agenda. It has been sent off. The alderman has all received copies. The attorney has received a copy. The auditor has received a copy. So I have not heard anything back from them as of yet with any questions. So that's pretty much all I have. So now we're gonna move on to the reports. Hey, I'm sorry.
This is on what we were just discussing on that 011. We were discussing that 800 and whatever thousand that's showing as income, which I'm fairly certain is incorrect. It's a line item there.
For miscellaneous income.
And then we have miscellaneous expense for 515. Now that looks to me that is also the same. Oops. In my opinion, miscellaneous expense should never be that high with our budget.
You're correct.
Well, as a city, we shouldn't have that many oops. We should be out at a higher standard to make sure that we're not having that many.
I had support, please. But anyhow. And whomever was doing this in 2022, 2023, technically, excuse me, 2023, it's a simple mistake, especially if you don't know what you're looking at or doing. So it is a simple fix if we find out it was simply a mistake on a line item.
Mhm. Correct.
Good. Or we can honestly see the numbers that shouldn't be. But
So we did all of those. And then Alderman Shannon, did you need something else for ARPA thing?
that wasn't dealing with.
Okay, that's fine. We can move on. If you think about it, you can let me know.
I would.
Okay, so first report we're gonna review is the law enforcement.
Chocolate.
And we're not gonna vote on that, we're just gonna review.
Yeah, I don't have anything. The total numbers on the sheet that looks like this is the,
I had,
Okay.
just give me 1 second. Here it is.
You can get closer so we can hear those.
Yes.
Some of us are old. Okay, you're really well.
all right. So this is just the report of the overall numbers and year to date, with this comment. The second page, this is the court documentation. What I ran this through is through the end of April, since that was the first that had come out. So that's what those numbers are on the back page. If you look at that, the part that goes to the city, it's not all of that, but it's the total excess revenue, the 38,1050, the fines, the 777.50, and the law enforcement training fund surcharge. I think that's what I was trying to remember earlier. Total of 4,662. Now again, that's represents January, February, March, and April. As far as the production level of that.
4,000. Can you show me?
Oh, no, that's the three highlighted total.
Oh, those
of what
three
the city
total.
should see on that, just so you all are aware of what's coming in that. But
So it's the
now
final-
I should be able to have automatic monthly reporting that'll come through my system. So I should be able to see that clearly monthly now that tickets are rolling back. So
Okay, so we have fines other,
yeah, it's total excess revenue, the 38,1050. Fines other, and then the law enforcement training fund surcharge was $74. So
now,
those are the three that will be consistent on every.
do we keep that law enforcement training? That should be a separate.
Yes,
line?
that has to be earmarked for training, like if we use,
So we need to add a line to our income and expense lines for that. You gotta come up with that.
yeah, it's just so it's earmarked for that specifically,
Right.
So, other than that, everything is caught up to date and compliant through April, that got reported in time, and that is done. Starting to get some subpoenas, got Green and Polk County subpoenas on things that have happened here in town as well, so things are getting busy there. The SRO thing, I think we need to table that. You all tabled it last time, and they have not moved on it, and they obviously, with the absence of the principal leaving, that's created a staffing situation there, so they're focused on other areas right now. So scratch that. The full-time officer, the rotate with me days would having trouble finding good candidates. I'm just being honest. I mean, it's hard to find good people that can qualify really, and you want somebody that has a level of expertise and understanding of the streets at least well. So it's
So,
challenging.
Since we're going over the budgets,
Yeah.
you seen where you
Yeah.
have like maybe $70,000 to spend on wages total.
No, I don't know. I know it was approved.
Yeah,
The
we have
38
already-
was approved
But you
already.
have to fund it.
Yeah.
That was approved, 2 months ago, I guess it was, 38,000. But Again, guys, it's not that I'm not trying, I just can't find them.
Again, budgets, and we may have to sit down and go through yours.
What happened to my $150,000 budget y'all approved for 24?
No, hey,
Wait,
So-
I'm gonna, can I,
uh,
okay, you gotta
yeah.
start doing that.
No.
We are a full board, he has the right
Yeah.
to look at everybody,
you can
And
look
address-
at them, but the
but
direct
I'm
comes
just,
to
you're
me.
being rude.
Point of order.
He, like, everybody's just talking
Point
to
of
everybody,
Order.
you're being rude.
Questions, please. So, what I was trying to say was, really investigate your budget. Right, you have copies there.
Oh.
Please, please get some, or have Donna generate you some extras. 11.
What is it?
11 is your expense.
11. What am I looking for?
0111. Here, you've got it. And then on your 014, which is your income, you have court estimated at $7,000, which it may be more, just estimated. And then you have your public safety sales tax for the police department at 61.5.
Out of curiosity, I mean, last year you all didn't have really an operating police department pretty much all year of anything really notable anyways. I mean, I know you had some in and out interims and things, but if at all possible, I mean, I really need somebody to rotate with me. We're in a challenge. We got some good things happening with the county. You know, the grant situation I think I talked to you about, would love to do that, but that takes a body. You know?
Sure, yes. That's what I'm saying, I think, because this is just estimated annual. So if there's carryover from last year, that would be in the budget notes, but we don't have the budget notes from that particular meeting. So that's why I say we have to investigate your line items on the income line a little further to see where we are at total dollars. Does that make sense?
You all not check budgets ahead of time when you told me the 150?
We were told that we had enough for
We'll have to,
2
I'll go back and
full-times
look
and
at that.
2 part-times.
I understand.
Right,
Yeah.
but I mean, we'll have to look at that specific line item. These are just estimates for this year. Now, if they have another 60,000 that they've been holding from last year, that would definitely give us some wiggle room,
I want,
but I don't know that.
we'll look at it, we'll talk about it and
Yes,
figure it out.
we need to have a sit down and go over that stuff. Okay?
And Bart, can I,
Yes, Mr. Shin.
regarding budgets, for instance, like the one that you all did for the budget projection for 2024. Was there anyone in the police department at that time to give you numbers for the police budget? If there was not, then it was,
Never
I
had
guess,
anybody. Dan was gone
so you had, so you just threw a number.
last year, I don't remember, probably June, July.
Well,
That's that little bit.
But my point is, you did, like with other departments, we have people, have or have, that gave you, potential numbers of what they thought they were gonna need.
That's not exactly how it worked out, because they were being dictated on, and their numbers were
Well,
being
that's-
added to and stuff.
But that's irrelevant.
It's not irrelevant, that's how it happens.
You just asked a question.
He's asking about $150,000 budget, projected budget.
I'll work with the mayor.
So yes, you guys,
Let's,
And I'll pull up,
Yeah,
I'll look
we'll
through my
figure it out.
notes of my, what I have at home.
so,
Air doesn't.
anyways, I am 2 credits shy of compliance for 24 post. So you know, my firearms is the only thing lacking right now, and I'm gonna go to the firearms training with the county on that to get that. So
You know when that would be?
in May sometime, I believe.
May, okay, cool.
So I should be able to get that for you pretty quick. They are. I know you saw the numbers either last month or the month before. I gave you the crime statistics that was raw data, obviously. The county is fishing for an idea. They want to make sure there's, sufficient police coverage to do this, but they're looking to maybe get between county, Pleasant Hope, Fairplay, Morrisville, and Humansville, they're looking to possibly place some strategic locations of flock cameras in connection with these cities where there's high crimes, to where for those that don't know what it is, a flock camera is more of a, it automatically scans license plates and dispatches immediately. Stolen vehicles, wanted criminals, wanted cars, things like that. Don't know the estimated cost yet. They're still working on that, but just something to, when we're looking at budgets, maybe to consider setting something aside in case that does come out, because that sounds like
Would
a real.
we be paying for those ourselves?
I think they're gonna have all the jurisdictions split the cost. Well, from what I'm told, they're thinking having one on 13 for Humansville, one on 13, and then one on right here at 123 in Tilden, where all the main traffic comes through. Because most people that are in town playing around come down those roads frequently. So just something to consider for future reference. But that's all I got. Nothing really.
They have any estimates on what they would cost?
Their rough estimate they thought was costing me $9,000 a year, but they don't know for sure.
And they're gonna have somebody, they're gonna monitor them, not.
Yeah, they
not
will
our
monitor it,
department.
but what they want is they want to make sure that they have the law enforcement presence to be able to attack it immediately when it does come down. Yeah, it's a cool idea if it works, but they're trying to combine several, so it's not like just, hey, we're relying on us or we're relying on Humansville or whatever. They want everybody on board before they make that commitment. So, anyways, that's all I got.
If you would, please.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Fire department, East Kelly.
Sounds neat. Yeah.
I think as far as the fire department goes, if I've had anything,
I can't hear what you're saying, you're gonna have.
that I don't think I have anything that's gonna be any different than what was on the reports that I got. Other than the technology. Where it went.
Oh, the technology line, they're like 7,000 on their expense line. Technology, it's 7170. Back page, very top.
Mine currently says 1,000.
Yes. How much do you think, is it gonna drastically increase?
I believe it will.
Okay. If you wanna research that, you bring it to the,
Thinking that's where we talked about last September to 2000. I did find some of my notes from last year. Yeah. Bumped a few other stuff, but there,
do you remember what you bumped down in order to increase that? Well, we should have at least a full quarter of income to work from on the income line to see if that's gonna be changed.
Right.
So. We'll just have to keep that in mind.
yeah, no sales tax, now it's the dollar is
The
down.
dollar, it's gonna
down,
be a little
so
bit skewed,
we
yeah.
may have to knock a few things down for that, but I don't see any drastic changes anywhere.
Okay,
On that one anyway.
that'll work.
I do have a question. Where are we at with those name badges? We purchased them. I feel like it's been quite some time and we haven't got anywhere with them.
So, limited on when I can do things. And I'm not giving up every day of my life to be down here any more than what I do right now. So it's going to take time, and I've got volunteers. So
I just wanted to know if we had an update on when we
I'm
would.
ready to get on with it, but it's one of those that we have 2 or 3 pieces of technology in there that we're trying to get the reporting system and everything else in there at the same time, and one takes priority over the other. And in my priority, that's where that's at.
Okay.
So I agree.
I knew last time we talked, you were
it's
having
been-
trouble getting the picture uploaded, so I didn't know if you were able
It's been a
to.
little bit. I haven't had a chance to actually sit down and hit that one.
Okay. I just want to make sure it's not
Okay,
collecting
so-
dust.
It's
Mr.
not-
Keller, then, do you have anything on the cemetery?
Yes. So the cemetery, as far as the part-time wages, I think we figured out the budget's 5,500.
It probably needs to be increased.
Given the time frame left of the current season, we have, looks like between 20 and 24 weeks. Given Mother Nature. If,
You're wanting 2 part-timers at least?
yes. Current, minimum wage,
What is it?
yes, we're going to.
Almost 15, right?
Yes, 15. For the, I figured 20 weeks, given that.
25 hours a week minimum, or 40?
30.
30?
That's what I figured it out.
Yeah, so we'll have to increase that budget for the part-time.
Yeah, because the current budget for both the parks and the cemetery for the part-time is 11,000. Just with the minimum, that's $4,000 short for that. But I'm hoping Mother Nature will kind of start playing a little more nicely. We'll hit a stretch where we don't need somebody quite 30 hours every week
Mm-hmm.
to mow or based on current. That's what I'm at.
With your part-time, we probably already don't know they do mowing, weeding, and that. Do they also do anything with road and street, or is that different part-timers, or do we kind of share? I mean, I know you split it.
That really depends on them. Some people don't want to do anything extra. They want to do weeding. That's all they want to do.
Yeah.
We have in the past taken a weed eater and help with road patching or whatever. It just depends. If they don't want to, I'll rather say that's what they were hired for.
Well, I didn't know if there was any cross between where we don't have anything to do today.
If we hire them and put that into the hiring part, then yes, we can do that. If they're agreeing to that job, which may include assisting with other things. If we don't put that in there, then
Well, if it was, and they did agree to it, that would offset some of your costs, because then that would come out of streets, correct?
Right.
Which might
And the
also
way
help.
that the motions have been made to approve. Very much.
All right, I'm just thinking.
Do you have anybody in mind, or have you got any
I have,
part-timers that want to return
I
from
have a
that?
couple, but I've got one that would be a return, but I haven't heard from him
Okay.
directly yet, so.
So probably sooner is better. Another thing is rolling your fire, I know. Okay.
You can advertise for seasonal, even through, like, with, your Facebook and stuff.
But we want a description, I assume. Okay. That would include the whatever else.
Absolutely.
That
So
would
how do you want me to list it? Mowing, weed eating, possibly,
be outdoor labor, outdoor seasonal labor.
General outdoor.
A lot of times that does kind of fill in that part where if I don't need, like I said, Mother Nature decides to stop raining and grass stop growing, then, we could switch them all.
and
switch
did
them
you
over.
say 1 or 2 part-times? At 30 hours a week? And,
Estimated, yes.
okay, and then minimum wage is what now?
Calls for it, but
That's starting pay, minimum wage.
Has to be, yes.
Well, I knew that, I just wanted to make sure that we were starting at minimum.
there are
Oh,
no
all right,
benefits.
more.
As far as I know, unless.
Okay.
Mark wants
No
to-
other benefits with that. because they're
Temporary.
seasonal.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, and Mark needs, if, Mr. Keller needs to come and ask for more wages for one of them, if it is a return and he wants to, then we can address that then.
how do you want them to apply? During what hours?
We're open 1 to 4 now. Well, as soon as Donna gets a little more wrapped around, we may be open longer than that. But right now it's 1 to 4 because that's when Gary's here. Gives Donna time to.
Okay.
Or they can come to me. I mean, that's fine too. I've taken 2 or 3 applications out already. I've not got any back, but. Yeah, so somehow it's not.
Any wins? Thank you very much. I appreciate it. So, speaking of,
Yeah, my apologies. I thought Mark was taking from Texas. Be
Okay.
long with it sometimes.
do you have anything for water sewer?
I don't fully know what my budget is on that, so.
Well, it's not on any of
That's
there.
what I thought.
We just went over general's budget, not water sewer.
So,
We can see if we can get Donna to print you off the water sewer, and you can be perusing that over the next week or so, and.
okay, because I
Because
have
it's a lot more complicated than these.
yeah, I gathered that. So I have a couple of bids. We have a couple of motors that are in, at Independent Electric that were turned in by John.
Motors, and
The
the aerator
aerator
motors.
motors. The one that, sorry, Si, I'm not trying to step on you, but the one that was turned in, the representative that John talked to at the time said that one could not be rebuilt. There's a quote here for that one that can't be rebuilt for $4,000 some dollars for the rebuild.
So
The other
How
one
much does it
is-
cost to purchase a new one?
that's what we're finding out, but they can't, we did order a new one, it was
Yeah.
like 85.
Oh, wow.
They can't find a new one like this.
Yeah, that was part of the problem that he ran into today when he was calling, was that they couldn't.
They'll have to build another one like this, or we order a completely different boat. There's 2 different boats, there's 2 here, because this is the one that can be rebuilt. They
So
can
we
both be rebuilt.
sewer plant or for the water?
Sewer plant,
Okay, so we have 2.
they have 2,
Well, we have one that needs repaired, and we have one,
they both need rebuilt.
okay.
One can be rebuilt for just under $3,000. The other one, it'll take just under 5,000 to rebuild. Like Mark was saying, when I called to find out about purchasing a new motor and getting a bid on that, I'm waiting on Daniel from Independent Electric to get back with me.
Is that the only place that we can get it from, is Independent?
No, not necessarily. We can order from other companies. It's just a matter of finding what we can afford to spend.
Right, because the
Because-
shipping's probably outrageous.
Shipping's gonna be kind of pricey, but
So, for Monday's meeting, did you guys want individual copies of these two estimates?
Yeah,
That's
and is
the only-
there a way before Tuesday's meeting that you could shop around and get us maybe 2 more estimates from somewhere else?
I mean, I can, they already have the motors, these were turned into them prior to this, because that's who we've gone
Not the
through.
only place that-
They are the only people that know how to repair these particular motors that I've come across. I dealt with them in Kansas City on a few other things.
HK&W don't do it anymore, or?
Not these particular motors, because you can't. You have to basically scrounge parts. That's why you can't find motors. But I can look more.
Is that the only kind of mower that we could use out there?
No.
Is there something, another brand or another
There's- yeah.
style?
I was gonna look into that as
Okay,
well, because
that would be great, especially if
You're
it's
going
just the
to,
decal.
once you do that, you are going to have to redo the floats and everything.
That's gonna
That's
cost
why
more.
John's stuck with that particular motor, because it interchanges with everything that's already
That we
there.
already have.
So the
total cost-
$8,000 motor that we just got was the motor, the shaft, and everything else that fit this particular float. So if we change that, that may be another expense that we have to go to in order for that to work.
Because I would have to do a whole new
Okay,
Question,
yes.
those are set to run during the daytime, is that right?
They're set to run,
They're on an automatic system.
yeah, once, they're set on an automatic system to where they'll run at certain intervals through the day. And
Just wondering if they're not overheating, is what's causing it, because we seem to be having a lot of problems.
well, when you run motors like that multiple times a day for extended periods of time, there's gonna be,
I know kicking on and off, it's hard to own it down well full time.
and we can't. There's no, that's not.
How many motors do we actually typically keep as spares? Because I know it had to been replaced numerous.
We're supposed to have one on hand at all times, and we have none at this point. So if one of those breaks down back out there,
We're
right now,
one short.
we're one short, and by DNR standards, that's a,
More trouble than we're already in.
yes.
Okay, so if, you know how to run the copy? Would you make us, some copies of these and then you can hand those back?
Now, or
It just few minutes, yeah,
Okay,
we're
and
gonna,
another thing, you said that for the one motor, roughly $3,000 per rebuild. We know
2,000.
time frame, I mean, does it take
3 to 4 weeks.
Okay, so that's,
It's on.
it's on the, okay.
It's on the paper.
We do have to, on the one, if we decide to rebuild both of those, we do have to go fish part of the one out of the
Oh, yeah.
lagoon.
oh, it broke and it went down to the
Yes.
bottom of the, oh,
The
isn't
fan
that
cover.
special?
Or fan cover, or
And then you wanna go in
They
and
say Daniel just found that they can replace it, but this quote was without the replacement.
Yeah, that would bring that quote down
Okay.
to, if we got that.
Okay,
So that would bring that quote down.
Magnet fishing.
Yep, I got magnets in, trust
So,
me.
okay, right, so.
We'll bring our fishing poles.
John, did you keep one?
Round.
Yeah. Okay, so, and then this is your
This-
report for the finish of the water sewer and your street as well?
This is basically just a quick rundown of things that we've been doing, the progress, what progresses we have made. And myself have made, because I began to complete my freshwater courses. I'm waiting on DNR to get back to me on my testing for my certification. Apparently they've been having issues with their mail run. But so that's what the response on water sample testing. Now, that also includes the fact that, because SUSI, the lab that we take our lagoon
Casey,
samples,
Casey,
everybody else calls it SUSI.
okay, I don't know, but that's okay, I know who it is, you're fine.
Yeah, but, they had not received payment up until today, for their services, so I have.
For how long back?
they received one payment in April. And that was, January and April were the only payments they had received.
What happened to, because we have those monthly, right?
Yes, and I have no
So-
time, I don't know.
Well, no, I know, it wouldn't be you, it would be the clerk. So
Yes.
February, March, did not get paid?
Correct.
Okay.
They got paid today by her. She took care of those today. Because as of right now, according to Mogen, which I am now registered on as well, we have 3 reports that are overdue.
Past due.
And that's costing the city money every day until those reports are done. Because DNR will fine us every day, for every day that they're not turned in. So thanks to Donna paying that, I should have the reports hopefully tomorrow. The results hopefully tomorrow to report to Mogen. Mark Keller, myself and Mark Morrison have kind of been working together, keeping an eye on the lagoons. Those are now being more maintained on a regular basis. Obviously, I check them every day. Sometimes 2 or 3 times a day, depending on what the weather's like. We are draining. We are draining 3 a little bit, so I can get 1 down again.
Because we're expecting more storms, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And we have a lot of I&I going into our lagoons, which is something that we'll have to figure out on a dry season.
And it was under control, so something happened somewhere.
And that's another thing Mark and myself have been talking about, along with the issue on Claris Street. We've been addressing that issue as best we can.
The construction company
Yeah,
building the gym knocked off one of the sewer tops.
we can't find
And
out.
so I've got, we gotta go up and reset it. It's, I think it's an 8-inch lift that they knocked off.
Well,
Displaced.
they're
So
supposed to,
there's a lot of I&I coming in there, and then there's another one that we can't seem to find, and I think they might have buried it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
They
not,
need to be a little bit
I've talked to Daryl over there. He said as soon as he gets a machine in, he'll get in touch with me and we'll get that moved back over.
problem with a part of that is that all the runoff that they've got coming where they built all goes down there where that missing manhole is, so.
Yep. That only drains that
more.
along with all of our whatever runoff. There's runoff getting into our sewer somewhere else as well. It's not just coming, it can't just be coming from that one specific
Did
spot.
we have an overflow down there on the corner of Buffalo and Gulf with this storm? You didn't see it? Well, it's
Seems to be, I
over
guess,
there by City.
seems to be on this end and on the far end.
Well, I know over here on Arthur and Clara, they're all running all the way up that street. When we get major storms, we get literally a river coming down through down that street. Over on my street, Fanning, you get rivers, but most of those feed into the creek. Now the one there on Arthur and Clara, kind of coming all the way down Arthur, all the water we get comes up.
Right, because it's
Up
all,
here. Yeah,
from
and
gradients.
and it's all feeding into our lagoon, which is causing issues. It's gonna cause issues with our testing, it's gonna cause issues with,
Get all the silt and then.
well, that too, because,
This is something that John's been fighting with for a while,
Right.
and just not being able to figure out where it's all getting into the system.
and it's one of
We
those
had
things,
our
it's like,
county manholes relined several years ago, and that helped, but still finding the ones that were giving us trouble. Yeah, okay.
and that's where we're having an issue with that. Now, that's a whole other DNR nightmare.
Yeah.
Which I am in pretty much constant contact with DNR on
Good.
EC and
Mm-hmm.
Patrick.
Okay.
Have tried talking to MoDOT regarding repairs to the highways through here on 123. But yeah, that's what he said too. So, I mean, I'm at least attempting to get those done. Polk County Road and Bridge, Gary and I have kind of been not butting heads, but kind of collaborating on trying to get another thing and get some road work, some bids for actual road work.
I believe they've done some other communities in the area,
Yes, they have.
Horseville and Pleasant Hope.
Correct. And that's part of the reason why I talked to them, because they would come in and do, well, they would come in and do the work. We would just have to fund the supplies, the parts.
What we have to supply is fuel, labor, the material. They will actually order the material from the quarry or whatever. They will make the hot mix. They will bring their equipment in. So trailer it in, so we'd have to pay for that. They can tell us pretty well how much it would cost for every, say, 1,000 foot of gut. They will use their dump trucks, because we only have one, and I'm sorry, it won't even do one pothole.
Yeah, that is still needs fixed.
But they do this for municipalities, and like I said, and I was part of their little fund when we did Humansville, Pleasant Hope. We did a portion of Halfway. We have to designate. Well, number one, you want to know what streets you want, what you're going to want to fix. Main thoroughfares first, which would be like Arthur is the one that's fairly used.
We probably want to,
Ohio's used a lot.
we want to concentrate on the worst areas.
Correct. Well, and the ones that have the highest price.
I track.
There are a lot. They're really reasonable, but you have to work around their schedule because they're doing an entire county.
That sounds like a
But they're
good.
it's very efficient. We did Morrisville. We did 2.5 miles of road in a day and a half. They have real equipment and they have people that know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They don't have all the extra overhead because they're municipalities, so they can't charge. They're not making a profit.
Right. So, we're gonna continue working with all of the Shelby. Okay. Sounds like a good idea.
Well,
Okay.
or just kind of help with seasonal mode. No, I was upside down. He was backwards. I was upside down.
City Clerk, Ms. Johnson. How are things?
I don't know.
An introduction.
You're still here. It's your second
Still
day.
here.
You're still here.
Well, it's my second, so I'm just trying to familiarize myself and find a place to sit in. So really, no.
We don't have a monthly report from utilities. So. North Ward, Alderman, you are next. We just go down the row, Alderman Shannon.
One I have to go through right now. One is dealing with dangerous buildings ordinance. We do have one. Still have to find it. I think it's missing one ingredient to make it a viable ordinance to take care of it. And this goes for both as north and south. We all have buildings and structures that are very unsafe, unhealthy. We have vagrants living in them, so on and so forth. I believe if we can find that ordinance, I know it's in there. And Donna said she'd help me, or she'd find it for me as she gets time. It's not, we need it yesterday. I believe it's missing one portion to make it a viable, useful ordinance. Code would be better. It needs to be codified. And we could probably do something with the buildings that have been sitting here for years that are, there are some very dangerous buildings. And we have children wandering around. We have buildings that are literally 150 feet from the school that they can walk into. And if they're injured or hurt, or we've had this happen before, let's go proactive. That's one of the biggies. the other things we can discuss on Tuesdays with the website and stuff like that. I don't know what she has.
Alderman Winkler. Okay. So. Just for the workshop.
It's, so the same thing that's been going on, the new church / soup kitchen, I guess, bringing in more vagrants. So,
Anybody spoken about leaving here and not taking them
back,
back,
they've been picking them up Springfield, bringing them down here.
but they're not delivering them back.
But that's where a lot of our issues are coming from.
And are they not taking responsibility for that, or?
Well, we started working on some ordinances, and our attorney was supposed to come and help us go over some. And, he's never come down to sit with us or go over ordinances.
Okay, so, is it a vagrancy ordinance, or do you know what the title of it would be?
There were
It's
a
supposed to-
couple
Hence to
tents.
remember exactly what it was, Amber? I don't know. I don't
Almost
remember exactly how we
encampment
worded
inside
it.
city limits.
I didn't hear that.
Homeless encampments inside city limits.
I
Working on
saw that in one of the minutes
Yeah.
from months ago.
We were trying
So
to
that-
defend that. Chief might remember.
Yeah, what that is very irritating. They are planning on, and I'm still catching wind from several people. They are still trying to develop that land back there next to Debbie's place that
Could
developed
Robert
10.
speak up so we could hear him better back here?
Yeah,
I heard he mentioned something about problem with the church, and
yeah, same
that's,
person.
I think I might have some
It
info.
was very hard.
You gotta be loud like me.
That's-
Everybody
I'm
hears
not
me.
loud. I can't help it.
So what
Lip and
Alderman Thomas is saying, that the little church over here off of the highway is bringing homeless people into their food kitchen? Is
Yeah,
that right?
it's a
Accurate?
soup kitchen.
Into their soup kitchen, but yet they're bringing them, but they're not taking them back. So they're just leaving them here to fend for themselves. And we have no services for
We don't have enough.
homeless here. There's nothing here. We have no shelters. And that, how often is that open?
Once a week.
Once a
on
week.
Thursday night.
Thursday, I think.
Thursday
So, yeah.
They're feeding people once a week, but yet,
Well, they're holding
people are
services in there
staying
now
here.
on Sunday.
Do it.
They're trying to hold services in there on Sunday too now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is fine,
Yeah, it's fine.
but we don't have anywhere to house these people. There's no,
And that's a lot of the
we
issues.
have nothing
The break-
here.
And the
breaking
community's
into
starting
the-
to voice their
breaking into the-
concerns. I know a lot of the community have discussed maybe starting their own, neighborhood watch to drive around, because unfortunately we do not have a officer 24/7.
Right.
But
Well,
it
the
is-
neighborhood watches are always a positive.
But it is, they're roaming around the streets all hours of the nights and doing whatever, and a lot of people are getting concerned.
Okay.
Just to add to what Mr. Thomas was saying, we do own the property next to that fiasco that's going on. And I was asked this morning, because I do have some people that have been looking at buying it.
The one on the corner.
Excuse
Are
me?
you talking about the one on the corner?
Well, state
No, the
building.
state
Okay.
building up on
Okay.
123. The people that we're talking about own everything that runs down the south side and clear around the east.
Okay.
And I was confronted this morning and asked about moving FEMA trailers over there and if they could come through our place. And no, they're not. So that's something that you all need. You can buy those FEMA trailers out of those closed up little camp, those pretty cheap.
I
And
think one of the things, if they're wanting to develop property, one of the things that we do have is a subdivision ordinance.
Right.
And that is very extensive, and they have to pay for all of that up front. sidewalks, streets, signage, property limitations,
Sewer, water.
water, sewer,
Have
all the
any of you
utilities.
Had any dealings with this Mr. Lippincott?
I have not, no.
I mean,
Have,
I've met.
I'm just gonna
met
be
the
real
kids
blunt
'cause they
here,
worked
and
here.
he's an ass. And he thinks he's way above any of us in this room. He's come through, he has literally dumped truckloads of shavings on our property.
shavings of what?
Wood shavings, he says it's wood
Wood
goats.
chips. He was, this was their thinking. I know. I unfortunately am now their neighbor. So I have to deal with, well, I don't have to deal with the goats now. I have.
No, they moved them in the middle of town.
Well, that's not my problem.
Is it one with all the goats?
Yeah,
Down the road
right there
from
at the
me?
corner of 80. So that's her daughter, and they moved all them goats in there and just fenced them in.
45 of them.
Okay, what, where?
Okay, is that Arthur or Sarah?
Sarah, it goes by the post office.
It's either Sarah or
think
the
they go
next,
by
maybe
one.
Hancock, but right there in that crossroad by Mill Street, just to
Give
the
me a
north of
map
it.
and I can
Is that
point it out.
Beatty?
Beatty is the first street north of
It's
Mill.
right on
So,
that
yeah.
south. No, it's on the northeast corner there. It's Tristan. It's his wife
Right.
that put that fence up, put all them goats out there. We had several calls over them getting
So
loose.
I live on the corner of Mill.
Right,
If you go,
east. East, the road goes this way.
yeah, it's literally, okay, you know where David and Johnny Shoemaker live?
Yes.
Directly, like, across from them. It's directly across from
Actually,
them.
so
They
yeah,
have
literally.
how many
And then-
animals?
He's on the northwest corner. They're on the northeast. They
There's
have
a-
probably 10 or 20 goats in there.
Yeah.
They also have
And does anybody know how much square footage there is?
It's a city
Well, she's-
lot. I mean, it's a,
And that's the other thing. I'm told
'Cause
she's
we might
breeding
be
them for like a
able-
business.
This is just a suggestion.
I
If
live
we
when I
want
go
to
on my
res-
walk. I have to take my kids on a walk every day.
They also have them next to the gas station, because that's Mrs. Lippincot's dad.
Right.
And that's what he has behind that high fence.
Yeah,
They
there's
get
a
out.
lot of
They
goats.
apparently breed them and sell them or something. That's what I'm
Well,
understanding.
I think it warrants some investigation, but I believe that, just like horses and cattle and things like that, they have to have a minimum square footage per animal. So if they have too many in there, it might be something that we could refer back on
I don't know if
animal
they would have too
welfare.
many in there.
I got a
rules and
linear wheel. I
regulations.
can figure it out.
I was
But
gonna
I
say,
do not know what.
it's a pretty big lot they have.
I know what
installed.
chickens are supposed to have, but I do not know what goats are supposed to have.
Yeah, I don't know. It is nice.
We do have an ordinance
They keep it cleaned up.
regarding animals within the city limits. I've seen it. We'd have to find it in there. And you can also, but it also has a nuisance clause that can be used.
For smell
Uh,
and noise.
Correct.
I don't hear it, and I will say, they do keep it pretty clean. I know there is a lot of them, but I mean,
But
I
go.
yeah.
in the
They,
middle of the
they
summer,
started
it
with
may not be
45, they
that
sold off about half, and the rest of them are now at their profit. Yeah. because
Well, I
they
knew,
work behind animals.
I knew the one lady down there, she had a couple of milk goats because she can't drink regular milk,
Right.
so she was doing that. But 2 versus 20
That hurts.
is a.
There is a lot in there. I just don't know how.
Yeah, we'll definitely need to check into that, for sure. So that was Thomas.
On another note, back to what you're talking about with tents and that, there is an ordinance about tents and campers, and
There's,
That's one they
it
were
works
working
out
on.
to 2 weeks per,
Like they
I think
can
it's 2
visit
weeks per
somebody
year.
for a week.
if,
yeah.
if they're gonna live in a camper, they've gotta come to us. And we set a deadline on it. Like, if they're not doing anything to the property to fix it up or to build a house or whatever.
The guy on Hancock.
It's
I was gonna say, we did have somebody come in and we did do that for them.
like a 6 month.
6 months, and then they had to come back in because they were living in it as they were building. if
Or
I remember
remodeling or doing
correctly. Yeah,
something.
something. And so we gave them 6
The
months,
sign
I think it
was
was.
up here, going all that up. right at the end of the side street that runs right along 123 right there. Yeah, like they headed to Waltville.
You're talking about Tri-Lakes.
Yeah.
Above, up on the hill of
Yeah.
Tri-Lakes.
He
If you
actually
pass by
built a
Tri-Lakes,
house.
there's a-
He's actually got a house.
Yeah, but. Okay, it's the property behind, Tri-Lakes Road doesn't come out there, it's the next property up. I think that's outside.
Yeah, they do,
Like that.
they are,
It's city limits.
they come in,
They're on our water
Okay.
and sewer.
them and that trailer right across the road.
They can they get sewer up there? Okay,
Yeah,
that's
they've
what-
Yeah, it's already done.
Oh, okay.
It's a done
Yeah,
deal.
that was what last summer, I believe. Oh, okay, they moved everything and.
But
Yeah.
now he's wanting to sell it.
Okay.
I do. I have a few different things. Carol Bookout from the Polk County Health Department reached out to me. Let me pull it up. She said she was trying to get a hold of Amber and she has not had any luck getting a hold of Amber. I know she talked to you last time about the trainings with the
Oh.
yeah, they're doing another one of those trainings. May 13th and 14th. It is short notice, but they're going to offer coffee and pastries, kind of like the same thing they did last time. They wanted to know if there was anybody that would be able to attend just to get some good education for their seminar, either one of those days. I told her that I would bring it up and see.
Wish I could give you a really good description. It was mainly like a community that has a lot of like mental health
Yeah.
or low income, just different ways that they could find resources for those individuals within mental health and things like that. It's like a big, not, basically a research project that Polk County is doing currently.
And they kind of want somebody from all areas to be in there, kind of like a, a go-to. I don't know, she messaged me on Facebook because I've been with her on the chamber and stuff like that, and she's like, I've been trying to get a hold of her, I can't get a hold of her, and so she.
Provide a location, or is she?
No, they do it, at, Polk County Health Center in Bolivar. She just wanted to know if somebody from the area wanted to be, our person and go. I don't think anybody went last time, correct, Amber?
I did in January.
You
I
did?
believe it was snowing.
Okay, yeah. So it was, again, a little short notice that it wasn't.
Like you said, 13th, 14th.
The 13th and
Monday,
14th.
Tuesday,
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday.
The 13th is from 8:30 to 4:30, and then the 14th is from 8:30 to noon. And they provide coffee and pastries, if I could talk. So, I mean, if anybody would like to attend, just let me know or
It's
call
open to the
her.
public, or does-
She just said, she sent me an email where you could, register, so I can forward that along if anybody would like to
Yeah.
attend.
Yeah,
Can't do
there's.
mornings.
Not
And
during that
like I
time
said,
of
it was
day.
short notice, so I just said I'd bring it to the board and we would go from there. The
Counties involved, or a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
towns involved
yeah.
within. Okay.
they're just reaching out, trying to get someone from each area to, just educate them more on mental health and
Is
et
there anyone
cetera.
from the chamber that would be interested in something like that?
I can pass that information along to Tina tonight and see if, speaking of that, I did get the citywide information posted on our social media page that me and Tina had discussed last time. That is up. Life Church wanted me to,
That's the citywide.
yes. And then Life Church wanted me to make sure we were all still good with them having the community building for their summer bash. That is next week on the 18th. They wanted to make sure there was a.
Community building at the park. I know one year they had it at the parks.
They've always done it at the park, but they've always had the community building on backup if it rains. They've always got tables out of there, so they've always had both.
Probably assuming.
Already had a couple people that have asked about renting the community building. One is an auctioneer. And I've been told that due to the roof leak, until it's repaired, we cannot rent the community building out or have it in use until it's repaired. That's what I was told.
Well, I
The
haven't
roof
been
leak
in
was
it.
that bad?
Yeah, it's pretty,
It's
pretty
always
bad.
been,
Yeah, we don't have
probably
it.
for safety issues, I
Yeah,
would recommend it.
we were, you know, nothing's really worked out to get up there and fix it. We fixed the front part, and then
Right.
got materials up there. We just need the weather to put them on, tear it all off.
Do you need to maybe hire additional people to come up and help and get it done? I mean, if
We could
you
probably
short
do.
on volunteers or.
I think I can get enough volunteers. I mean, I got the two, Martins and, some other people that usually show up, and whoever wants to climb scaffolding and get up on the roof, because you don't want to go through that hole.
No, I don't. Well, I would go there.
And we're gonna have to wait till all this,
But that's
this rain
something-
subsides.
Yeah, that's something we discussed, and why we started fixing it was because I did a walkthrough, Amber and Robert, we had all did a walkthrough, and I'm sorry, but that building is not safe. Until it's fixed, it's not safe for anybody to be in.
Additional dollars into it, fix the roof,
Yeah, it's gonna have
and
to be
you
done.
suggested tuck pointing as the next piece
Yeah.
of the puzzle.
Tuck pointing, windows. You're gonna have to keep the elements out, or you're not gonna be able to keep nothing.
Right, so, general consensus, or do you wanna make a motion just to allow them to have the park and not the community building this year due to safety reasons?
I'll make a motion they can have the park.
I mean, I just
No
have Mark
one should
go
be in
look,
that
somebody
building
go
at the
look,
moment.
see. 'Cause I was gonna say, we really need a walkthrough. It's nobody's really been in there since,
Yeah.
The community building,
yeah.
the leaks have gotten larger. There's more, flooring would have to be done upstairs. Downstairs would be acceptable, but. you
Well, we
can't-
already knew
I
that
mean,
upstairs. We don't do
yeah.
nothing with it.
Yeah.
It's storage.
Downstairs, I mean, you'd have to clean it up quite a bit. And the main issue is the leaking, because it will flow down.
Well,
And we go up there every time it rains and drain bucket, pump bucket, barrels. So,
Well, and the issue is when you have a roof leak or leaks like that,
It
the
damages
main
it.
issue you have to worry about is being inspected. So the main issue is we will have mold issues. So until we fix the leaks, we have to be concerned about that. We do not want anyone in that pool
Yeah.
until those are repaired, and then we make sure we mediated any mold issues that are.
So Alderman Shannon made a motion to close the community building for the short term until we can reevaluate it. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Well, that's right. All in favor?
Right.
Do you want me to, do a public post that the community building is,
It might be nice to let people know, but try to put as positive as you can on it. That we are hoping soon to set a date to do the roof repair.
just basic unsafe until repairs are done?
You know, just, it's gonna be temporarily closed until we can set a date to repair the roof. And then we are taking volunteers, and then maybe whatever day you guys can come up to do with
It's gonna
that.
be, I mean, it's
Otherwise, we
90
could,
squares of
right,
roof.
I mean, otherwise, we could probably consider, hiring a company to do it.
Yeah, we've already had quotes on that.
Outrageous.
Yeah, like 80 to 120,000. So, yeah, we'll just do the volunteer thing.
Okay,
I mean, it's not bad.
might wanna try to, I know it's gonna storm season, I know that, but,
Believe me,
Well, and of course, the big issue is once you start a tear off, you better be right there to
Yeah.
finish
you
it.
gotta finish it.
So-
It's tough.
I do have another question with that. We do store city documents in that building. with
driver.
dry room right now. With all these leaks, is it smart for us to continue to store documents in there, or should, I mean, if it's,
The
if
only
we,
place we have for them is here.
I don't need that storage here right now. That's another option.
You don't need a storage where?
I don't need the storage outside here for my part. Right now, I got plenty of space for that evidence because it's going over.
Oh, like in the evidence
Yeah.
room down there?
Yeah, there's plenty of space over here, and I don't need this right now at all. So,
Secret out here?
yeah.
I'm just thinking
If
ahead of,
it'll fit, that might be.
yeah, I'm just thinking ahead of time. I mean, if we know it's leaking, I just don't think it's the smartest
those are
to
all
leave
old
documents in there, knowing that the building leaked. Yes, that room is dry right now, but I mean, that building is 100 and some years old. One good rain, wind, I mean, that building's gonna be next. I hate to lose all of our important information, so maybe we need to move it.
Si, I hate to put another thing on your plate, but is there any way that you and Mark could work together to unload those boxes from the community building? Put them
Yeah,
in the-
are we talking all documentation?
I think
like,
everything would be
Yeah,
getting
there's
out of there.
a lot of files.
Well, I'm also going towards more of like the older school records, the older school books that people have kept as mementos.
Yeah, the
newspapers,
books
stuff like
are,
that.
no,
Or was that
no, it's the
Okay.
boxed records
just the
from,
box records?
yeah, it's the boxed records. They're in the record room. They're in the
Yeah,
dry movie room where they
Yeah,
used to keep
I-
that. That's,
yeah.
Thank you. That way they're just safe and
yes, I see it. Yes.
Are the restrooms on out there at the park?
Sorry?
Are the restrooms at the park, at the demo park, are they on and working?
Yes,
They are?
yes. We actually, if we know the park's getting ready to be in use, we go up, we turn the water on, test it, we do whatever we gotta do when we have, but also unlock doors, make sure there's plenty of trash barrels and electricity.
so you'll have all that done for them on the 18th. For them, or
Of this,
no,
this month,
it's the 18th.
of this
It's
month,
Saturday, yeah. Summer bash is the 18th.
Okay, so
Yeah,
park up here, not the
Mhm.
park out there, park up at Dimmitt
Yeah.
Park.
yeah, and, yeah, they're all, I know that they're all.
Yes, Mr. Shane.
And I asked Mark about this, we have the other storage or the containers out here, freight containers. One of them isn't being used at all. I do not know if it's completely watertight. We can look, it'll be hard to tell. That's not for storing as well, because this unit out here is already has everything that's in the city clerk's office right now. 2020, 2021. 2022, that all needs to go back in there, so we are not going to have enough room with what's over there. I've seen that. One of the, if this one over here that's not being used is watertight, that is that's much larger than this
It's also on our list to auction.
one. I've been on the list to auction
For like
for 3 years, but they've never done
Well,
it.
Yeah.
But it would be a good option if it's watertight, because it needs to be watertight.
your best discretion for that. Mayor's notes. So I don't have a lot right now. May have something after closed session, but currently I'm satisfied with the way everything's been going this evening. So does anybody want to go to closed session? And they need to make a motion. So
Make a motion for a 5-minute break or whatever.
oh, we can do a 5-minute break if you like. Sure. Okay, yeah, 5-minute break. 5 minutes.
This is.
You know what? I'm
Winkler moves to take the Humansville Board of Aldermen into closed session, and that all records and votes to extend permanent by law pertaining to and or resulting from the closed meeting be closed under section 610.021, legal, and 3, hiring, firing, not promoting employees. To that motion?
I'll second.
Can you read, I didn't hear a word you said. It was really quiet.
We're going into closed session.
But I wonder, what was she reading?
Session that all records and votes to extent permanent by law pertaining to and or resulting from the closed meeting be closed under section 610.021 and 3, which is legal and hiring, firing, discipline, and promoting employees.
Alderman Albright.
Yes.
Alderman Shannon.
Yes, yay.
Alderman Thomas.
Aye.
Alderman Winkler.
Yes.
Okay. The motion to go into closed session carries. Oh, maybe we'll choose that.
Turn up those first. Maddie. Those hearings. Added. Send. I wasn't looking at you.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to move to adjournment on May 9th, 2020. Yeah. I would like to go ahead and make a motion to reinstate John Hopkins and Sophia Piper to come back to work.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor and it's been seconded to reinstate prior to employees.
Alderman Ashley Albright,
No.
Alderman Gary Shannon,
Yes.
Alderman Robert Thomas,
No.
Alderman Amber Winkler,
Yes.
So it seems we have tie. I know it's not going to be popular, but the city needs to end the chaos that it's in right now, currently.
Thought this was just
Currently,
this is just a prep,
And
so
I
we
will-
can't make that
we
motion
asked, and I'm
until,
going
until
to
actual.
vote.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
we asked for legal counsel.
That's on.
All in favor?
Yes.
It's a voice vote. All in favor?
Oh, yeah.
All in favor. I'm sorry.
Of what?
Really?
Meeting to adjourn at 8:34.
It is adjourned.
I didn't say yes, but yes.
It's 4-0.
You can readdress this part.
You sure?
Have a great night,
Shall it be
guys.
brought up by an alderman on the ayes, not be brought up by an alderman on the nay?
Oh, yeah.
We've had
Well-
to go through all-
And in all honesty, I don't know if they even want to. So. Or if they're willing.
Don, did you have any luck with?
Hey Robert, what happened to all those applications for the city utility clerk? There was like 17 people that wanted to apply for that position. What happened to all their applications? No, seriously, I mean, what happens to all those prior applicants? Are they just tossed out without being considered?
We got them all.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't matter, I can take pictures of the shed, but we can do HCS. We can, or we can check, I can do pictures of both of them.
It doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, the first one I know.
Well, yeah, you'll do it. You only got a picture.
Right, and I can take a picture of it.
And you want us to do it.